this summertime, it can get a little harder to stay hydrated because it's so hot. And sometimes plain water can be, I'll be honest, a little redundant.
Just a little bit, but here to give us an alternative solution is Kelly from Innovative Health, and she's going to show us different ways that we can stay hydrated throughout the summer. How are you, Kelly?
Doing really well. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
once again, now that you're closer in person, absolutely gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous because of the water.
Because of the water. So you're going to tell us all those tips today, but before we get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit about dehydration and why do you think that's so hard? Why it's so, why a lot of us get dehydrated and whatnot?
Yep, I think being busy has a lot to do with it. So that's the number one thing I hear from my clients is that, how do you drink so much water all day? So one tip I have is to have a water bottle. So you can get, easily get, they have them at Costco even, you can get them on Amazon, you can get whatever material you want. I like the ones that hold a little bit more water just because then you have to consume less of them in a day. But I have people that buy cases of water too and they count, I drank 4 bottles today, but having the water with you all the time is important, and then also starting first thing in the morning. So I think that's a huge mistake all of us make, or most of us make, is we get up, we have coffee, and then we may not have water till like noon or later.
Yeah.
And if you start your day with water, that's the best way to get the day started.
I'm actually guilty of that.
Yeah, I gotta have some water.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Go. And we have been talking a little bit about dehydration. What are some of those signs that we know that, oh, we are dehydrated, we gotta get that water bottle in us in the morning?
So dry mouth for sure, and definitely first thing in the morning. I think we've all noticed that the color of our urine is dark, which is normal because we haven't had water since the night before. But at any point during the day you notice your urine is concentrated or dark, it should really be clear to very light yellow, like pale lemonade.
Gotcha.
So if you notice darker than that, that's a for sure sign. But then other things too that you may not connect with water all the time. Constipation is the #1 complaint I see in my dietetics practice. So lots of constipated people out there, and also headaches. That's a huge one. Fatigue can be one, and I also have clients that have had kidney stones too. That's a more serious manifestation, but I think the most common things I see are going to be headache and constipation.
And we have that on our screen reel too. If you're more of a visual person, you can see some of those facts too. But yeah, definitely keep those in mind, so that way, especially as I know everyone's kind of in that back to school mode, but it's still summer, and honestly, going back to school, you need to stay hydrated.
Exactly.
And
if
all
we
of
practice now, it'll be easier for us later on. But you've told us about the signs, but now you've brought a solution with us. So tell us a little bit of what we have here on the table.
So first of all, you can drink water in any way that you want to. So I have people that don't like cold water. They want warm water.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can do herbal teas too. So regular tea has caffeine that can have a diuretic effect, but herbal teas are great. That's a great way to get water. Other options for you are going to be naturally flavored water. So this is, kind of when you go to a spa, you'll get like the water that's got the cucumbers and the lemons in it. But you can do that at home. It's super easy. I like mason jars just because they're easy, they're cheap. You can get a huge box of them. And I have 3 different flavors here, but there are many more options. You can do whatever you want. I mean, if
this looks like raspberry and
lime, strawberry basil, and cucumber mint.
I like that cucumber mint. I can start my day like that.
We should have had that. We had people from the Mint Festival yesterday. That's what you can drink this weekend.
Exactly. And you can also make a pitcher too. So I did bring ingredients to throw this together quick just to show you how easy it is to get this. And hopefully I'm not gonna, thank you.
There you
I'm gonna spill ice everywhere.
Yeah, so we have a little bit of ice.
And actually I was supposed to put the berries in the bottom. So
that's okay. We'll make sure we put those berries in there as well.
Yes. So the berries should go on the bottom. And then you're also going to put the herbs in.
Okay, and right now we have sage here with us.
So blackberry sage is another great combo to use. And you don't need a ton of the herbs just because they're so potent. So, I just take a couple sprigs and put them in there. Yep. Because again, a little bit goes a long way. That's why with seasonings in recipes, we only use like a 1/4 teaspoon, a 1/2 teaspoon, and everything else, the big stuff is like ounces and pounds and cups.
And then you obviously pour the water as well. And I can do that as you describe quickly what is going on here with the salt and this concoction.
Actually, I'm gonna have you stir.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll switch places with you.
And I'll watch and learn as you tell us over here.
So and then I also just wanted to point out you can also make ice cube trays with fruit in there. So that's another easy thing you could do if you don't want to do that. If you just want to pour water and then throw in the ice cubes, that works too. The last thing I did want to talk about is electrolytes. So normally we don't need to have a ton of electrolytes. Like if you're just going outside for a walk, or it's a hot day but you're only outside for a little bit, you really don't need to heavily replete your electrolytes. I think like the sports drinks that are on the market are overconsumed, if you want. Like I know my dentist is not a big fan. He's always like, kids get gator mouth.
Yeah.
So this is something that you can do at home. I like this better than what you can buy commercially for electrolyte placement because there's usually less sugar. It's not going to be high fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
And then also, you're not going to get the food dyes and the preservatives and all the other stuff that you get with something that's commercially made. So a very simple at-home beverage that you can make. You want 1 cup of filtered water, 1 cup of coconut water. So this is what I got, but there are plenty of options out there. Unsweetened coconut water, high in potassium, which is an electrolyte. And then you also want to put in a little bit of sugar and sweetener to replete losses there. So what we used for this one is maple syrup, but you could use honey.
Honey? Oh, okay.
So your natural alternatives there, and they actually have a little bit slower rise in your blood sugar than sugar does. So that's why I use honey or maple. And then I also use lemon juice for this one. So I took 1 whole lemon and I juiced it. You could also use 2 limes. That would work as well.
Yeah. You can smell it.
Then the last thing we put in is salt.
Okay.
And I really like sea salt in particular. I think that that's a very key component of this. So just 1/8 of a teaspoon. And the sea salt is actually unrefined, meaning it has not been run through a mill. It actually comes from the sea. It doesn't come from a salt mine in the earth.
Okay.
Much higher in minerals and other nutritional components than table salt.
Wow.
Awesome.
We learned so much today. Thank you so much for everything. And you mix it all together and we're good to go. So thank you so much. And I'm going to definitely be trying this during the commercial break. We'll have all of this online. And you know, we truly need to stay hydrated in all kinds of weather. So coming up after the break, we are getting our first look at the forecast with Andy. So definitely stay with us. This is so good. I'm so excited.
I know.
And my son